Okay, YouTube, this is Acid Roots. I've got an album review, and this is Lil Kim's The Notorious K.I.M. Or The Notorious Kim. This is a rendition of the Notorious B.I.G., who was her mentor and boyfriend for a while. And Hardcore came out in 1996, which was the last real project that Biggie worked on while he was alive, besides his second album, which he died before it came out. So 94, 95, 96, we got something from B.I.G. and his corner. Junior Mafia was in 95. His first album was in 94. Puff Daddy was in 97. And the careers were starting to flesh out. Junior Mafia did not get the chance to record a second album, but Lil Kim was the first member of that group to go solo. Now, as she stands on her own without B.I.G., it's kind of noticeable that some of these songs lack the venom. She's kind of a B grade lyricist. If B.I.G. was an A grade, she's about a B grade. She has similarities to him, and I think you'll notice that pretty quickly. But it's not enough to make this a well-crafted album. So a lot of the production doesn't feel like it should be coming from a celebrity, and it kind of feels like Lil Kim is lost on this project. She has the points, you can tell that she has fun in her life. Her sex life is good, but the whole idea behind it is the songs just don't really work extremely well. And so I'm trying to look for bullet points as to why this really is. I'd say some of the reasoning it's just like what I said. The songs do not feel like they're fit for someone of celebrity status to be releasing, and even the singles feel extremely lazy. Usually that first song that you release to radio is the smash, and it's the reason why people buy the album, but it's really not that strong. And it's called No Matter What They Say. Then we put Cisco on the second single to kind of help because he was big around that time, but he really doesn't do that much of a better job. So, R&B song doesn't work, first single doesn't work. It's good, but it just takes patience to realize that. I like this flavor. I definitely didn't pay attention to Lil Kim before, but I regret it. And it's just me trying to find instances where I would listen to her. That's kind of something that takes a bit of time. But I don't want people thinking, oh, this album is a bomb, it's completely thumbs down, because it's not. But it kind of tricks you into thinking that it sucks. And that's the whole thing. The singles are just not as attention grabbing as they need to be. They're just passable, just really kind of serviceable, more so than outstanding. And it's the same thing with songs like Suck My Dick and Queen Bitch 2 with Puff Daddy. These songs, the production is just not entirely what it needs to be. We can tell that Lil Kim does deserve to be here, but it's kind of like it really feels borderline. So that's about the whole thing. Is a lot of these songs don't even sound professional, but it somehow we do get the music. So it's just like this is a tough call. Yeah, it just the best way to describe it is just the production is just entirely bad. So I'm going to give this album a 3 out of 10, but not before I tell you the 5 songs out of 18 that you need to hear. The 2 singles, How Many Licks and No Matter What They Say, they're not immediate, but just give it a shot. Give it a few listens. If you don't like it the first time you listen to it, don't dismiss it because she does have some hits. And Suck My Dick, She Don't Love You, and Queen Bitch 2 are a few extras. One of the Queen Bitch has Puff Daddy on here, and it kind of takes, yeah, I mean, these songs are just lazy. That's the whole thing. They're not as attention getting as a Big song, but just realize that it's about the only thing that you have to realize. And the the Lil C's song "Off the Wall" is another one. I'm gonna say that that's an almost song. I didn't like the sample that it had, but besides that, I did like the fact that Lil C's, they're still kind of in, Junior Mafia was at least in the picture after Big's death. You know, it, these sorts of things make getting over Big's death special, because it's, for the most part, when someone dies, that's it. You don't get any idea of what he would have been like, who he would have worked with, what his style would have become. But with people like Lil Kim, Puff Daddy, Junior Mafia, and the fact that some of these folks were still rapping and dropping decent songs, you get the idea of Big's kind of halfway fulfilled vision. So that is interesting, but really, Lil Kim, it just needed to be a couple steps up. But the singles are decent. So this album gets a 3 out of 10. The social score gets a 5 because it did have two modest charting singles. And she kind of made some noise in the year 2000. So that was another thing. It was, people at least knew who Lil Kim was. She was just seen as like the raunchy female to counterpart to Big, but she did get a career of her own as the years progressed. And so, can this record be topped? I think obviously it could. It's not something I would ignore, though. I mean, that's the thing is that I want to keep repeating, is that it's not something to skip. But the future Lil Kim has not dropped an album since 2005. She had a child not too long ago. She dropped a mixtape, which I think was like hardcore 2K13, something like that. That's the last time I really checked up on her. But between those two things, that's what she's been up to. So subscribe for more fun.